So good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Abundant Life Center on this beautiful fall day, 28th of September. And I'd like to welcome you all. And today we have a special speaker facilitator, our own beloved druella, who is formerly and still will always be part of our community. But we'll hear more as we get on with our service. So first I'm going to light the God candle. This is a representation of the one presence and power in the universe. It's known by many names, and the name you choose to use is welcome here. Okay, so to get centered and present, we have a little reading and a kind of a meditation we open with. So to begin, close your eyes and imagine a big old-fashioned reinforced chest in front of you. Grip the latch on the lock and gently open the lid. The chest is empty. Now picture all your worries, all your desires and frustrations, everything that keeps your mind busy. See yourself dropping them all into the empty chest. Check once more. Did you forget anything? Close the lid and turn around, leaving the chest behind you. Admire the wonderful view of the sea from the cliff you're standing on. Open your eyes. You are fully present and relaxed. So this being our second service of the month, we will read together our values. We show up and act with gentle honesty and authenticity, vulnerability and caring and trust, open and welcoming hearts, attentive listening to and respect for one another, an intention to connect with the divine, a dedication to community, a commitment to grow through spiritual practice and service. And our opening song this morning is called Gratitude, which is the theme of our service today. That was great. Thank you. And with that, we will turn the part of the service over to our guest speaker. And I don't think he needs an introduction for most of us. Jack was part of our community and our music director for a long time. And what I know is that he moved to California to finish his education and became a chaplain and minister. And I believe you live in Claremont, Drac. Are you doing the meditation or is it recorded?
It's recorded. That's
Okay.
my understanding, that there's a
Okay. So
recorded
Drac's
meditation.
topic is affirming gratitude.
Mhm.
And we'll have a guided meditation before we hear from Drac. Take it away, Drac. You ready to share your wisdom with us?
Thank you so much. That was a really good meditation in that song, Hallelujah. Wow, that was beautiful. Wow. Well, this is the first talk I've ever done on gratitude. It's not something I've ever spoken on. But because of an experience that I had recently, it was just a few weeks ago, I was inspired to talk about it.
Mhm.
What had happened was, as probably as most of you know, I'm a full-time hospice chaplain and minister. That's what I do. And I'm a part-time staff minister at a church here in Claremont Center for Spiritual Living. And I had a couple of experiences in both of my workspaces that led to my thoughts on gratitude. What had happened was a social worker that I worked very closely with at the hospice left, she quit, and I had been good friends with her throughout my work space with her, and I kept in touch with her. We went out for lunch one day, and it seemed like a very nice lunch. I had a good time. We had a nice conversation. And then after that, she just refused to speak to me ever again. No response to anything. And I think I might know what it is. Um, but it isn't even relevant, honestly, because nobody did anything wrong. It's just human things. And then I had another experience not too long after that with the other associate minister, because we have a senior minister, an associate minister, and me, the staff minister at the church where I'm part time. Her husband had died recently, and she confronted me and said, she wanted me to visit her husband more, and she's quite angry. She's grieving. And she knew I worked 6 to 7 days a week, so that wasn't like it was a mystery. And I did visit a little bit, but she was upset. She's grieving. So after those two incidences, I just, I don't know about you, but I have a hard time with not being liked or having somebody being angry with me. And so I just started thinking about it, and it just kept going around and around in my mind. I think, well, maybe I could have said this. Or perhaps if I'd said that, or maybe if I'd said it like this instead. Before I knew it, I was thinking, oh, I said that to this other person once, and oh, I did this with this other person once. And before I knew it, I'd gone down this rabbit hole in which I started thinking about all the people who potentially didn't like me or didn't like me all the way back to my childhood. Before I knew it, I was thinking everybody and their dog didn't like me anymore. It was hilarious. It was like, the tune, nobody likes me, everybody hates me. Guess I'll go eat worms. That's kind of where my mind went. And then I just heard this little thought, and I kid you not, just this little thought came in and said, think about stuff you're grateful for. You've got so many things to be grateful for. And I don't normally do that, but I did. So I started thinking, I was like, well, the new social worker where I work is phenomenal. And she's phenomenal. She's great. We have a very good working relationship. She's great. And I started thinking about my boss at work and how phenomenal he is. And then that led to thinking about my housemates where I live and what a great house I live in. And then I started thinking about, it's been years work to get the relationship out with my sister, and we get along so great now. And then the ball started rolling the other direction. And within 5 minutes of thinking like that, I felt different. Just 5 minutes. Now, it didn't solve everything right away, don't get me wrong, but it got the ball rolling in another direction. Within a few days, I felt very different. I was sleeping better. My attitude was different. And then I thought I'd write a talk on gratitude. That's another good thing that came out of it. The point is that it's not just gratitude itself, it's the impact it has on us and how we see life. It's what we see. It's what we experience when we open ourselves up to gratitude. The world looks different. Did it change? Is anything different in the world? Or is the world that's different in yourself? It's the question. All of us, well, I'd say a lot of us here, I'm hoping, had parents who said, I'm sure you've heard it when you're a little kid, somebody gave you a gift and your mom would say, what do you say? Or your dad's like, son, what do you say? Then you'd say, thank you. But gratitude, it's about more than just an obligatory saying thank you or manners. Gratitude is about going to a mind space where you open up to seeing what you have by being grateful for what you have. And that is the pivotal point because it shifts the way you see life. I don't know what it is about us humans that we sometimes will focus on what we don't have. I mean, just one person decides not to speak to me, and I'm thinking about every person I can think of in my life who hasn't. It's just what we do. There's a site because I researched. I was so curious. I was like, why do we do it? And I found a site called Medium online, and there's a man on there, an executive. He's a fairly high-ranking executive in a corporation. And he talked about how he had worked so hard to get this one position. He worked so hard to get a promotion. And he finally got promoted, and rightly so, because he really earned the spot. And he said for a couple of days he was just thrilled about it. But then after 2 days, he found himself, his mind started thinking, okay, so what is the next step that I need to do? And what about this other strategy over here? And his mind started going. He wasn't even in a place of gratitude anymore. He started thinking about what could possibly go wrong or what he needed to do to ensure things went well. And he just went into that headspace. And he caught himself doing that. He thought, why am I doing this? And he said, this is what it is in quotes. Our brains are wired to seek problems. It's part of human survival. Our ancestors needed to stay alert to dangers, threats, and scarcity. While this instinct helped them stay alive, in today's world, it often works against us. That's what he said. And he said, instead of appreciating what we have, we automatically scan for what is lacking. We scan for what is lacking. Now, I don't know how accurate this is, but it would make sense to me if that's a part of it, of what's hardwired on us. But nonetheless, it doesn't work well for us now. And as a result of this research, he began to think about what he could do. And he just started a very simple gratitude practice. And I mean, it was really simple. He would get up in the morning and all he'd do is just think of three things he was grateful for. And he said he pretty much said the same thing every day. He said he was grateful for his job, his health, and his family. That was it. Every day, same thing. That's all he pretty much said for the most part. And then he said he noticed after a while that there was like a small shift in him. And it kind of snuck up on him. He noticed that in the morning when he was drinking his coffee, he would just enjoy the taste of it more. And he would notice the sunlight coming in on his desk as he sat there sipping his coffee. He started appreciating the time he spent talking to friends a little bit more. He just seemed a little more present to things. And it hit him as like just this simple practice. And then he just began to enjoy things more because it opened up something in him. It opened up a place inside of him. Is that the gratitude, it doesn't just make you feel better. It rewires your brain to focus on abundance rather than lack. That's the thing. It literally will rewire your brain to look at abundance rather than lack. Instead of looking for what's missing, we start to notice what is right there in front of us that we have that's good in our lives. In my spiritual tradition, really, actually, I'm an interfaith minister, but I'm getting ordained as a science of mind, religious science minister. And that could be a whole another conversation. Just to say for any newcomers, it is not the same thing as Scientology. I always put that out there. It's very different. And they have a five-step prayer system that they do. And I got the paper in front of me. I'm just going to highlight it real briefly, and I'm not going to go heavily into it, but I have a reason for it. There's 5 steps they do when they pray. And the whole point of it is just to align their thinking into a place of possibilities, with the understanding that when we pray or we speak to spirit or God, or however we call it, we're shifting our consciousness, our way of thinking and perceiving reality, and aligning ourselves with this spiritual force to change our reality, whether it's just from the inside or ultimately because our inside changes to shift our outside world. So the first thing that they do when they pray is that they recognize that God really is all there is in a situation. God is everywhere. It's omnipresent. God is everywhere, no matter what things look like. And the second step in the prayer process is that it's called unification, and that's knowing that you're one with this force, this spirit, this God. Kind of makes me think of Star Wars, one with the force. Knowing that you're connected to that. And the third step is where you kind of declare that the reality of things. So for instance, if I want peace, I will say that I'm seeking peace, basically, and I'll recognize that God is all there is. And that because God's all there is, that I'm aligned with this magnificent thing, and that there is peace in that. And then the next step is thanksgiving. Expressing gratitude for that which you're praying for, stating it as if it already is, knowing that it's in reality. It's making itself real. And the last step is you release this, you let it go. You pray and then you let it go, knowing it's gonna happen how it's gonna happen. So there's these 5 steps. So why wouldn't it be good enough just to talk to God or spirit about it and say it's going to happen, it's going to be okay, and just to look at that piece or just to pray? Why do we have to have gratitude? That's the point of why I read that is why the gratitude in there? If you're praying for something, why would you say thank you? It's more than just what do you say? Why do you say thank you? Because when you acknowledge with gratitude something that you're longing for, you're also acknowledging that you may already have that. And you open your eyes up to that reality that it might be there. Kind of like in my case, I have friends, I have good in my life, but in that mindset, I was just thinking about all the people I'd lost as friends or thought I'd lost. So it opens you up to that possibility. Gratitude is so powerful that way. It shifts the way you look at the world. As I mentioned earlier, I live in a house and I have two other housemates. I've got, we're each renting a room in this house in Claremont because Claremont's an expensive little college town. And so, getting your own house or renting an apartment's a little bit expensive in Southern California. So I've got these housemates, and sometimes we get extra food and we bring it home and we put it on the counter and leave it there for everybody to share, which is a really sweet thing. But here's the thing. Sometimes we forget to tell our other housemates when we bring something home, it's there, it's a free for all. So people just keep walking past it. No one will touch it. And there it sits, going a little stale. I look at our good that way. Sometimes we are waiting for permission to take our good in life. Oh, well, I'll do this when my kids move out. Or I'll start doing this after I lose 10 pounds, or whatever it is. We will put off allowing good things in our life. We'll wait. And the power of gratitude is we're opening ourselves up when we think about what is good in front of us. We're opening ourselves up to its reality there, and we're also making space for it to come in. Instead of walking past that counter with the food on it every day, we open up our eyes and we see the food on the counter and we know it's there for us. That's what gratitude does. It opens us up that way. And I just think it's a remarkable thing. It seems so deceptively simple, but it really is true. There's a quote from Ernest Holmes, who's the founder of the New Thought, basically the New Thought movement or the science of mind, religious science movement. And he says, however great the truth of God's love may be, unless each individual consciously admits it, it does not come in. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. Being an individual, I must open the door. If I open the door even partially, I create within myself an avenue for the expression of that love. I allow the complete expression of the infinite, meaning spirit or God, through the individuality, meaning me as an individual. So what that says is when we speak and when we look at what we're grateful for in our lives, when we really look at it, we're opening up the door for it to come in because we see it. And the crazy thing is, the world is still the same. It's been the same the whole time, but we just start seeing different things we didn't see before. That's the thing. This old house that I live in, it's a really old house. It's had several rooms added to it. And on the back there's a patio, but the patio didn't used to be there. Before, what there was just the back of a house and a tiny window in it. It wasn't much. I don't even know if there was a window, to be honest, because the kitchen is right next to this patio. Prior to that patio being there, if you were standing in the kitchen cooking, you would look out there and you'd look out and all you'd see is a wall. And maybe if you're lucky, there was a little window to see something, but I don't think there was. After that wall was taken down and a patio was put in, it's all glass. You can see this whole backyard. You can see flowers back there. You can see the birds up on a line, and we got a lot of them, these doves. They're really sweet. You can see everything back there. Prior to that, all you saw was a wall. I look at gratitude like putting that patio in a house. What it does is it opens you up to seeing what is out there, what good you have. Now, when that wall was there prior to the patio, That backyard was still there, but you just couldn't see it. Once that patio was put in, you could see everything there. And that's what gratitude does. It opens you up to see what you have in your life that you weren't seeing before. Did the world change any? Was that backyard suddenly there when we put the patio in? No. But now we see it. Same with the good in our lives, same with the gratitude. It opens us up to what is there and the possibility of it being even more. That's what it does. It gets the ball rolling. The reality is that we magnify what we think about. Because the more you think about something, the more real it becomes for you, and the more you notice it. If you ever been preparing to buy a new car, I got a Kia Soul years ago. I don't have that anymore, but I did, and I love that car. It was called Alien Green. That's the color they called it, and they're all over the road. But until I got my car and was planning to get it, I didn't notice those cars at all. All of a sudden, when it was on my consciousness and on my mind, I saw Kia Souls everywhere. It's like I didn't realize there's so many of them out there. And people, people have told me too when they were trying to get pregnant and they wanted to have a baby. All of a sudden, they just noticed every pregnant woman out there on the roads. Like there's so many people taking walks out there that are pregnant that they never noticed before. Because in their consciousness, in their mind, they want to manifest this thing in their life. They want this reality to unfold. And now that they're thinking about it, they see it everywhere. They see it everywhere. And that's how it works with gratitude. When you express gratitude and start focusing on what you have, you open yourself up to seeing it, seeing what is already there. And when you see what is already there, the crazy thing about it is you start to pull more of it into your reality. That's how it works. That's the magic of it. That's the magic of the science behind it, I guess, if you want to call that. Because we create more of what we think about, because we see it. It's not necessarily that the world has changed. Of course it hasn't. It's that we've changed. We've changed. And what happens when we go into gratitude is we change our entire inner landscape about what is out there in the world and what is possible for ourselves. That's what changes. We are very, very powerful beings. We really are. We add that patio into the back of our consciousness or our mindset, and all of a sudden we can see the whole backyard, not just one little tree. So, so I want to tell a little story. It's very simple. I'm not going to be long-winded with this. It's very simple that I think is really neat about this, what I was talking about. So it says, in the heart of a bustling city, and this is a real story, a homeless man named Michael lived on the streets. Each day was a struggle for survival, but he had one thing that kept him going: gratitude. Despite his circumstances, Michael expressed appreciation for the small things in life. A warm cup of coffee, a friendly smile from a passerby, or even the sun's warmth on his skin. His positive outlook caught the attention of a local journalist who wrote a story about him. As the piece gained traction, more people began to contribute to Michael's story. Donations poured in, allowing him to secure temporary housing and eventually lead him to get back on his feet. Michael's tale became one of hope and resilience, demonstrating how gratitude can foster connection and empower those in need. All started with a mindset. This guy was just grateful. He just pulled it in. It's just wild. It's so true. So gratitude reminds us of what we already have. And in doing so, it seems to multiply because we become more aware of that good that has been in our lives all along. And when we do this, it opens up our mindset to receiving and noticing good things, which pulls more of it into our lives. Ultimately, it will, in some way or another. And I call that the magic and the science, as I said earlier, behind prosperous thinking, as they call it. There's a guy named Robert Emmons, and he's perhaps the world's leading scientific expert on gratitude. He's the leading one. And he describes gratitude in a greater good essay that he entitled Why Gratitude is Good. This is what he wrote. He said, it's an affirmation of goodness. It's an affirmation of goodness. We affirm that there are good things in the world, gifts and benefits we've received. There was a 2021 article in the Journal of Positive School Psychology. I love the way they just go on and on. It's not super long, but they just go on with this. So they say, they wrote that regular gratitude practice could result in, and this is how they put it, increased feelings of energy, alertness and vigor, success in achieving personal goals, better coping with stress, greater sense of purpose and resilience, solidified and secure social relationships. That's true, I can testify. Bolstered feelings of self-worth and self-confidence, and generosity and helpfulness. And this is the part that got me. They said, should you feel an uptick in any or more than one of these, you may be able to conclude that your practice is working. I just thought that was great. Should you feel an uptick in any one of these, one or more of these? Gratitude, they said, can help someone switch from negative emotions to positive emotions. And if it's worth anything, that alone is worth a lot, because that just changes the whole emotional landscape you carry inside. Because two people can go through the same experience, and why does one come away with a different outlook than the other? One could be more positive and one could be more negative. Who's better off for it? I say if you're going to have to go through something, you might as well have a more positive feeling when you're done. You know, and I can testify to that with that experience I had a few weeks ago. It made a big difference. So I'm just going to read a simple quote here to close this. And I don't know how much time we have. I do like to do a small meditation, but with this, but no, well, we'll see. Marianne Williamson said, gratitude is an opener of locked up blessings. And I'll read that again. Marianne Williamson said, gratitude is an opener of locked up blessings. And I love that because that's what it does. So I hope that perhaps this little talk today will help you unlock some of those blessings for yourself, the way you think. I know it's helped me greatly. So I appreciate your listening, and I look forward to what people have to say about this.
Thank you so much, Drak. That was marvelous. Did you want to do a meditation now, or we have some time?
Do you?
Yeah.
Because it's very, very simple. Very simple. So I just say to just everybody just kind of close your eyes. And I would like you for just one moment to think of something that you're worried about or that's concerning to you or that has made you angry or upset or something of that nature that's just on your heart. I'd like you to just sit with that for a moment. Just picture it or feel it. Just be with that. I'd like you to just make a small note of how you're feeling, what you feel in your body or in your emotions or whatever it is, what you feel. And now I'd like you to just switch gears for a second here and to think about something that you're really grateful for. Could be anything. And if you're feeling ambitious, think of maybe more than one thing you're grateful for. Just be with that. And notice how you feel. What sensations are in your body or emotions or whatever it is. Just notice that and kind of sit with that for a minute. And now just go ahead and open your eyes. Did anybody notice how different they felt from one to the other? I know when
I,
I did,
I
it made a
think I
difference.
missed the shift in the meditation
Oh,
from thinking about the frustration to being gratitude for something in that area. So I was thinking, I've been trying to get Calendly to work on my computer, and I keep following the instructions, and it keeps not working. So as I was thinking about my frustration about that, and thinking about shifting to be have gratitude, I have gratitude that I've got a great computer here. I've what Calendly is used widely for meetings and stuff, and I know because I'm smart and I've learned lots of things in my life, I can figure this out.
Mhm.
I like
Nice.
that. The reason I do is because the whole point in a lot of what I was saying was that it opens up to possibilities, us up to that. And you just did. I can do this. I've got it. I'm smart. I can handle this. I know what I'm doing. It's gonna work.
And to say I know what I'm doing is creating that reality. Not I will know what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing.
Mhm. Exactly.
There's one thing that I notice in my practice, which is when I notice something that goes well for me, and it can be just simple, I'm hanging something up and nothing happened, or it didn't fall down, or didn't lose the screw or the screwdriver, and I notice it, then I'm grateful for it. And what it is, it's exactly what you said, Drak, is that it multiplies. You suddenly notice that more and more of these things go fine. But the important part is to notice that it went fine and to be grateful for it.
Hmm.
So true.
Yeah. I just keep thinking back to my original old days at Unity of Vancouver, and there was an elderly member there named Susie. It's all I remember. Little old lady came in a wheelchair every Sunday, and she had a birthday. I don't remember her age, probably 90 or something. And they asked her the secret of her longevity, and she said, "I am grateful for everything. I say thank you for everything that happens to me all day long." Just that simple.
Well, you may
And
think
if I
I'm
burn
weird.
my hand on the stove, I say thank you. It was a lesson I learned.
Wow.
That's the gift of every situation, isn't it? You can learn.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing you may think I'm odd, but I walk around and hug my walls.
That's great.
Anyone else have something they'd like to share? If so, unmute yourself.
Just one more comment that I wanted to make to the comments that Drak made about lack. Uh, we don't we don't realize how much life around us is set up around lack. And it starts with every advertisement. Okay. It's all designed to make you feel you're missing something.
Mm,
And you need to be able to recognize that, make abstraction to it, not look at the advertisement, stay away from advertisement, because it's all driven towards you feeling lack.
good point.
Very good point. Because they know how we work.
That's right.
They know how to pull us in.
Uh,
It's true. Very true.
Paul, go ahead.
Well, this is just something that I have experienced. I'm getting older, and it seems like I got here awful fast. But at one time, I was starting to get depressed by this idea getting older because I keep looking around. There's hardly any of my friends that I worked with that are alive, and all my good buddies are gone wherever you go when you die. And so here I'm for a little bit here. I was thinking that I'm I'm kind of getting lonely here. But then I wake up to the fact that I got all kinds of people that grew up younger than me, and I got lots of good friends there. My kids have turned into adults, and they're thinking people, and I used to have fun with them as kids, but now they can outdo me and thinking and and they're so I continually to have a big universe around me, surrounded. I've had it all my life. And I guess I'm really grateful for that somehow this system keeps regenerating itself when us old farts go. There's still more coming, and they just keep it coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful idea of abundance. We just can't help it. We don't have any control over it, and thank God we don't.
You say it goes both ways, right? To give something, you have somebody on the other side to receive it. And it seems as we get older, we're more and more in the position to be able to be the receiver. And learning to be grateful for that is just as important as being the giver. We tend to give all the time when we are younger because we can. And when we're older, we're not that in the same position. And we kind of learn how to receive and be grateful for it.
But I think you need to be sure you have your contacts. And it's awful easy as I'm getting older to just forget, things are fading away. But I have a lot of control over that. I have a telephone.
Yeah.
I can wake up used to be young kids and now are adults. I can extend my friendship base by just taking the action of calling them. I don't have to wait for them to call me. In fact, it doesn't work that way. If you expect people that you haven't communicated with for a long time, you're probably never going to hear from them unless you do something about it. So I do not start counting who called me and how many called me. And if he hasn't called me, I'm not going to call him. You got to get out of that mindset and just take the plunge and extend your friendship base. And it's all on you to make the first move. Otherwise, you're going to end up here in the trash bin.
Makes me think of that quote. Let me see if I can find it. Well, the one where Ernest Holmes said basically, in so many words, it's up to us to open that door.
Yes.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that's a good reminder for me, Paul. I really listen to you when you talk. I've often thought that when I grow up, I want to be like you. I'm not kidding. Really appreciate your wisdom very much.
Yeah.
Well, my hormone pills are still working, Greg.
Your what?
My hormone pills.
I remember that.
You remember that, don't you?
I do. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Any other comments or ideas you'd like to share? Arlene, you're muted.
Oh,
Arlene, you're muted.
oh, you're on mute. Yeah.
There,
There you
now
go.
I'm unmuted.
Yes,
Uh-oh,
you
look
are.
out. Look
Yeah.
out. You know what? I went to this new doctor, and he's like a pain control specialist, and he's got this idea about this thing he wants to do in my body, to do this thing, and I'm going, oh God, oh God. Anyway, I'm up there and I'm getting ready to leave, and I have somebody with me because I take people with me to help me get the chair in and out of the car and get in, especially if it's something new. And so my wheelchair ramp. I got this wheelchair ramp in the car, and it goes up and it gets the chair on it, and then I get it going. My chair ramp came down. I put the chair on it. I hooked it on. It wouldn't go up. I got all these little wires. These wires make me crazy. I'm not a wire kind of girl. I don't do wires very well. I cuss and fuss. And John was telling me on the phone yesterday that I call him a wirehead because he does everything with wires, and I call him up and how do you fix this and that, and he tells me about wires. So anyway, my brother lives up in Battleground, and I called him up to come and help me. And my brother's got this big old new hat. It's a big old cowboy hat. And the first thing he has to do is take his hat off because he can't really see anything. And he put it in my car. His cowboy hat is still in my car. So I get to go take him his hat some one of these days. And that'll be fun. And my brother was telling me all about his workshop he's made in a room in his garage. And his car, all his little lights came on in his dash telling him he's got to fix this and got to fix that. And we know how we do the oh shit. I do the oh shit. What's next thing? That's the way my brain works. Not Phil. He goes, what? You know what? He figured out a way to put smoke in this pipe thing. I don't know even what the pipe is, but where the smoke comes out, when you put it in there, means that's where you got to fix it. That's what's wrong. So he put smoke in there in his car, and he found out where the smoke comes out is where you got to fix it. So when something's haywire, you could say, oh, well, thanks. That's what I got to fix. That's what I got to work on. So I'm trying to change my attitude a little bit. Instead of that wheelchair ramp, I go, oh, shit. Now I got to fix all this crap, and I don't know how to do it. No, that's not what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to take it into the shop. I called the shop, and you know what they did? They emailed Phil my brother Phil is an electrical engineer, and his brain just does that, and they emailed him a map of what the little wires are. And I don't understand electricity, but they got all these little diagrams and all these little doodads about what's supposed to go where. And he's got all this map to it. And you know what he did? He fixed it. And it's fixed, and I'm really happy. He says, I don't know how long it's going to stay fixed. You got to leave that little drill out there in the car, because he went to the store and bought me a little electric drill. And it's a sweet little drill, and it's got one bit in it with a Phillips on one side and a flathead on the other. And so you got what you need, you got everything you need, and it's electric, and you just go bzz, and it does it. And so I got to think about bzz, and just doing it and having a bit that's got both ends on it, and just having, you got what you need. I got what I need, and I could think. And I got my little light on my computer that Eric told me to get last week, and I plugged it all up, and everything works. I'm really happy that it's all working, and I'm going to change my attitude. Instead of doing the oh shit thing, I'm going to think about Phil's pipe and putting smoke through it, and where the smoke comes out is where you got to fix it. That's like, oh, that's a little bit weird, but okay.
Yeah, one thing that I don't know if everybody believes that, but you can have a relationship with things. So you can have a relationship with your car, and you can give it a name, and you can tell it thank you for having taken you from one place to the other, that it was no breakdown. And you can have this relationship, and I bet you your car will work much better.
I like it.
I am with you on that, Eric. Seriously, you do have a relationship with things. And just to say, Arlene, you got a relationship with your brother to be grateful for too.
Yeah, I do. It's working, and I really appreciate him. And his cowboy hat that's in my car. I gotta go put that hat on, and I'm not gonna put smoke in the wire, but I'll see what happens.
That's great. Thanks for sharing.
Well, that was a good thought. I I bought a car for my nephew, and he said I offered him more than he asked, and he wouldn't take it. He says, "Uncle Paul, I want you to have this car. I think it's just what you need." And I fell in love with it, a little PT Cruiser. And God, what happened here last year? This year, yeah, this year. It took my driver's license away. And here I am left with this car. I can't even legally let anybody else drive it. I can't legally get insurance for it unless I'm a licensed owner. So here I have this nice car that I love, and I still want to get around in the country. Well, I decided then that I would solve this problem by giving my car away to my neighbor who had been driving me at times. And I said, "I'll give you this car if you agree to drive me till I die, till I'm not around here." And he took me up on it. And now I still have my car, even though I don't technically own it. Um, you don't have to get rid of things that you love in the usual way if you really love them.
Well, you have your car, Paul, and you have a companion for
And
your
I've got a companion that I'm getting better relationship with all the time.
Nice.
It was really a plus for me. So
It was a plus for Henry.
things
It was
are
a
important.
win-win.
They do help us bind ourselves together.
Nice.
I have a friend that came up in New Thought and was part of our, used to be called Science of Religion. Remember that, Drak?
Religious
Science
science
of Mind, yeah.
and
And
science.
she
of mind.
always said,
Mhm.
there's a gift in every situation, no matter how bad it is. Look for the gift.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what a lot of people, Arlene and Paul were saying.
Yeah.
And it even multiplied. Henry just sold his old car.
Oh,
Oh,
it's out of
yeah.
your
So now
driveway.
Hey.
he's $800 richer, and he has a car anyhow.
And you don't have a clunker in your driveway.
Right.
That's great.
And he's going to
Kate,
get
did
it
you
out
have
of my.
something you were going to share earlier?
Oh, I just wanted to say how grateful Arlene's resilience makes me. I mean, how amazingly resilient you are through that frustration of your car not working. You found so many solutions, and it's just makes me really grateful.
Oh, thank you. I'm so
Sweet.
grateful for my brother coming and
Yeah.
helping me and doing all that. He didn't say, "What the heck? I don't have time." And he came and helped and rescued me. And we had this thing, and we have this relationship, and I learned a lot, and I still have his hat. That's a good cowboy hat. I'm going to go put it on today.
Huh. I can just see how a little gratitude keeps growing into more and more and more. And everyone has experiences of the more you are grateful for, the more you receive, and even the little things to be grateful for is so heartwarming.
Mhm.
It's just, do you have anything you'd like to say to wrap up this
Well,
great
I was giggling when you said even the small things, because every once in a while I say I'm thankful for my toes.
your toes? That's a good thing. You can't walk without your toes.
It's kind of hard to do.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, of course, when anybody says that, I'm obnoxious. I say, "Oh, I'm thankful for the small things. Thank God I'm only 5'4". I bet. I know that's very ridiculous.
do you want to
No,
wrap this up, Drac, or are you complete?
I'm complete, but I will just say that I appreciate everybody so much, every one of you. And coming here like this it's just warmed my heart, and I feel a little ache because I miss you, and I miss
Oh,
being
Oh,
in the
good.
Pacific
I miss
Northwest.
you.
The only thing that's keeping me here is my job. I love my job so much, but if I didn't have this job, I'd already be either in Vancouver or Portland.
nice. Well, thanks to technology, we can have you whenever you want to join us.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm
Right.
grateful for that.
Yeah.
I really am. I appreciate all of you,
Thank you.
joining
That
me
was a
in this time.
marvelous talk. It just reminded us all of what maybe we already knew, or maybe learned some new tips that will benefit all of us in our community and our world. Because what we put out will multiply. And I just got a text from Carolyn. She said, "So sorry I have to go. Drak is amazing. I will have to listen to the rest later. Thank you."
That's really sweet. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I
Yeah.
do.
Okay. Well, shall we have our closing song? I'm so grateful / gratitude by Karen Drucker. So let's close this portion of our service with our closing circle and greet each other with namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste. Namaste. This has been a great service. And thank you again, Drak, for bringing your training and wisdom and knowledge to share with us. It's always wonderful. We hope to see you more.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I'll be seeing you again in, I think, November, if I
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yes.
very good. Thank you.
Good, good. Okay, so just a reminder that we are an independent spiritual community, and all of our offerings and tithes go to our fund to support our community and to spread our abundance mostly with our local neighbors and community events and organizations. So we do send out a reminder and an email after the service if you'd like to contribute.